Some people felt that he was smiling Biden. The president sitting down with Donald Trump at the historic handshake wasn't the only headline. It was Biden's grin that captured attention on social media, leaving many folks to speculate, why was he so happy? Vice President of Targeted Victory, Matt Gorman, former Clinton advisor Philippe Rines. And gentlemen, good morning to both of you. Let's get to it. Here we go. Some of the reaction online. Biden never looked happier. Joe Biden shares the same smile that most of America has right now. Matt, you see something there?
I have not seen him that happy since the last debate. I mean, I'm not even trolling. I mean, if you're Kamala Harris, what are you thinking right now? I mean, they were saying he's a fascist, Trump's a threat to democracy, this and that. And yet, do you smile that happily when you're next to someone who you think, ostensibly is evil? It kind of shows everything they were saying was just kind of a lie. I mean, it was incredible. I have not seen Biden that happy in a long, long time.
Philippe, what you see?
Matt, I love you, but I just don't think that's the case. I mean, Donald Trump also has some nasty things about Joe Biden, and he kept that to himself. Look, as jaded as I want to be, I liked seeing that. It is important. It's good that Joe Biden offered, which Donald Trump did not do in 2020. It's good that Donald Trump accepted. And it's not just a ritual. And I have to say, I think if it had been a couple hours later and the Matt Gaetz news had broken, I'm not sure the grin would have been as wide. But they both said the right things. What they next did, I think they met for 2 hours. And that's the really important part. And the one thing I would say is I hope that the president-elect took to heart some of what Joe Biden said, even if he disagrees with it. Because if you remember, President Obama told President-elect Trump to watch out for Mike Flynn. And it turned out that Mike Flynn was fired 23 days after the election started and ended up, being found guilty and needing a pardon. So it's actual work that's getting done. As far as the grin, look, I'm glad that they both could put it aside and say the right words. I really am.
Okay, gentlemen, one other thing. There was a question about why she wouldn't do the Rogan interview. And a lot of things went back and forth. And apparently Rogan went her in Texas, and they said, let's do it for an hour. Well, he finally answered it. Let's go ahead and play the clip from his explanation.
They had, I don't know how many conversations with my folks.
Right.
But multiple conversations, giving different dates, different times, different this, different that. And we knew that she was going to be in Texas. So I said, open invitation. I think they had requirements on things that she didn't want to talk about. She didn't want to talk about marijuana legalization, which I thought was hilarious.
Why?
Like, that's so, because of her prosecuting record. And, she put a lot of people in jail for weed.
You had that, and you had this from one of the spokesmen. There was a backlash with some of our progressive staff that didn't want her to be on it and how there would be backlash. I guess there's truth in there somewhere, gentlemen. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's malpractice, right? You're worried about your staff's feelings and not, getting in front of tens of millions of voters, more than watch the evening news even. And look, Rogan is a symptom of a larger cause, right? I don't think doing Rogan would suddenly win her the election, but it spoke to a mindset of playing it safe, of keeping her from a lot of interviews for most of the campaign, of not taking risks, of not saying, hey, let's figure out 3 things where we can separate ourselves from the historically unpopular president in our party, of, hey, let's cater to this interest identity group and that interest identity group instead of trying to win voters and build the broadest tent possible. Look, Rogan in itself didn't lose the election, but it was a mindset that informed all of that did.
My feeling, Philippe, is that anytime you put conditions on an interview, it's probably either not going to happen or it's not going to go well. And I think this other comment about progressive staff members being concerned about it, that there might be some truth in that, about the infighting within the campaign.
Well, Bill, you just teed up a softball right down the middle. I mean, President Trump gave preconditions to the interview with National Association of Black Journalists. He didn't want to be fact-checked, and he did the same thing in terms of trying to work the refs, which he's very good at. On the debates. But I'll say this. Look, I think the most important thing about this is that Rogan said that she said okay. So, look, I don't have any inside information here. I would say that the idea that she didn't go into, I won't say the lion's den, but the fox's den is a little crazy because she sat with your colleague Bret Baier, which is more than President Trump did the other way around. And I think I don't know whether or not the left or the progressives did or didn't. I am certainly not going to defend anyone on the inside who might have said that's too something. The one thing I will say is that I am sure there was discomfort with some of the people that he has had on his show, including Alex Jones, in terms of not pushing back hard enough.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's that simple.
I would just offer, I think, in the end of it, a little difference because of what we saw in the electoral vote. So, Philippe, thank you. Matt, thanks. Gentlemen, we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.